Hi, this is Charlie giving you Monday's market commentary. Hope you're very well. Before we go into that today, we're going to be talking about self-sabotage, and then we're going to go into some market commentary. Just a brief reminder, very imminently, Kim has got his new news trading product coming out. So if you like the idea of news trading, it's a very unique way of trading, and just being able to specifically know at the beginning of each week which days you're going to be trading at specifically what times, and you only have to be there to trade around for maybe 15 minutes or so, set up some trades. So it's very interesting, different way of trading entirely. You have to know a lot about the fundamentals behind that, but that's what Kim shows you, and yeah, really quite exciting. So looking forward to seeing that coming out. It may even be out the end of this week or beginning of next week, so look out for that one. And also, before the children break up for the summer holidays, we have got a very special webinar coming up, our next webinar in our series, and so that will be coming up at some point in July. So really looking forward to delivering that one as well. I've got something a bit different there for you. So okay, let's go into self-sabotage. And I was actually going to do my market commentary this morning on the difference between doctors and traders. But actually, I had an email come through on a different subject from one of our clients, and he was talking about how the fact that he used to self-sabotage in his email, and he was just and I thought, actually, that's not a bad idea to do something on self-sabotage, because why do we actually do that? And that's an interesting one. We've all been there. I've been there before, where you're just going along quite merrily in your equity curve, and you might be going along for maybe, as a day trader, sometimes even like a couple of months, let's say 2 to 3 months, and you're having a really nice run for that period. I'm not even talking about a week or two, and then all of a sudden, like, the wheels fall off, and this happens to your P&L. And why do we do that? And because all we've done, actually, it's not that we've done anything wrong with our strategies or anything like that, but all of a sudden we tend to ignore all the things that we were doing, which were good and correct during this period here, when we go into this self-sabotage mode. Because basically what happens is we get overconfident. And so what happens when we get overconfident, we think that we've just got the markets licked, and it doesn't matter because I've got an extra profit in here at the moment, and so it doesn't matter. I'll just take this extra trade here, and this one's bound to work out, but it doesn't, so you lose. And then you take another one, you think, it doesn't matter, I'm so good at this now, I'll just take this one here. This one's going to work out, and it doesn't, and it loses. And before you know it, you've got yourself into a losing cycle, purely because you've ignored the attributes that it took you to get to this stage in the first place, up here. So you've ignored all the good stuff, and the fact that you were actually disciplined and you were following your rules correctly, and you've stopped following those rules. And that's what happens. So why do we actually do it? And because what then happens is we can sometimes go through a cycle of that. So we actually learn from that. So we've been going up, our equity curve's going up, then we have a self-sabotage period, it comes all the way back down, and then we realize, actually I better go back to basics, and you go back to basics, and up it comes again, and then we have this big down move again because we self-sabotage again, and very easily we can get ourselves into a pattern whereby overall we're just not really getting anywhere in our account. The account's essentially going sideways. So why do we do it? We need to get to the bottom of that. Sometimes it could be a deep-seated thing that people, there's books written about this, that people feel that they're not worth it subconsciously, and blah da 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 da. I think it's more simple than that. I think it just comes down to the fact that we get overconfident, and we then all of a sudden think, well, actually I'm making this amount of money, I want to then exponentially increase that to this. And people get overconfident based on what they've just done and what they've just had, and they want more, basically. And so the self-sabotage comes in then. I don't think it's as deep as people having innermost feelings of lack of self-worth. I mean, sometimes it could be, but and certainly you can get to a stage as a trader whereby, I think we talked about this recently, where you just don't believe that you're ever going to be profitable. And when you are profitable for a while, oops, I used the wrong button there. When you are profitable for a while, you almost have this belief that it's at some point it's going to happen, I'm just going to give it all back, and so where your focus goes is where your account will probably end up going. So there's certainly there's going to be traders who are going to have that self-sabotage almost because of their lack of belief as well. But certainly there's going to be other traders out there who who just get overconfident, over greedy, and that's what happens. So how do we overcome that? How do we break that cycle? Because that's what we need to do. There's no point in having a cycle like this where we just go up and down and up and down. Yes, it's good because it says that you're getting some things right, but obviously something's not right as well, because you keep on coming back. Just when you're having a nice run, you pull it back again, your P&L. So how do we break that cycle? It comes down to your mindset, as always, and discipline. And it's having that mindset that just at the point when you're laying in bed on a Friday or Saturday night, when you should be thinking about other things and you're thinking about the markets, that's when you need to self-monitor and say, do you know what? Right now, I probably could just do a couple of days off. As much as I'm itching to trade on Monday, I'm laying in here in bed on a Saturday night thinking about the markets and how excited I am about trading on a Monday. That probably means you're nearing this little crest up here. So if you get those sort of emotions, just self-monitor, keep them in check, and recognize these emotions and think, oh, actually, I'm getting a little bit overconfident here. I'm laying here on a Saturday night. I should be thinking about other things rather than the markets right now, and yet I'm not. And so I tell you what, I'm going to actually take Monday or Tuesday off, just to allow myself just to calm down a little bit and just watch or downsize. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just keeps you in check all of the time. And otherwise we get so into, oh, I've made this amount this week, I've got to make that amount next week, and then all of a sudden you're putting a pressure on yourself, and that pressure then leads to self-sabotage and all of everything we've already discussed. Anyway, hopefully those points have been of some use. I realise I'm already 6 minutes in, so let's stop that for now. Right, okay, let's go into the markets. Oil is up. Like I said, I've been looking for this. How long have I been talking about this pattern? Since what? Beginning of May? Maybe even before that. I can't remember now. This pattern for the breakout. It looks like it's going. We're up at 98 this morning. This isn't a live chart of oil, so we're already up at above 98. It could back off again, and so of course it could back off back down to 96, 95 very easily. But just as easy, I think it could just go here. And so I said 97.50, and so for any of you traders who are wanting to be in that, then you potentially, and $100 is the, or just before, not $100 is the first target I have on oil. I think I discussed this on Friday's update, so I won't go into it in too much detail. But yeah, the pattern's on, and that's doing what it's doing. Let's go into a couple of these markets. The S&P 500, I think we've got two levels here at the moment of interest. It's sort of trapped over the last week or so. We've got these highs up here, and obviously we've got these lows down here. So I think at the moment we're trading within a range until we break that range. I haven't even looked at the S&P this morning. It'd be useful if I did. I assume it's probably just chopping. No, it's up a bit actually. It's come up within that range. So we'll see how. What's it up at? 1633. Okay, so it's up a bit. So it's up around about here, whatever. So the S&P needs to break that range really before it gets interesting. It's had a nice pullback now off that key reversal day. Doesn't have to carry on coming lower, but if we come out to maybe a weekly chart to get a better perspective, what have we done? We've come down to the lower band on the weeklies and just come up to retest the upper band. So let's go out to the monthly charts and see what's happening there. Well, certainly you can see where we're on the outside of the bands here, which is fine. Candles are getting a little bit smaller as we're coming up here, but let's just see what's going to happen. I don't have too much of an overall view on the S&P at the moment. As far as I'm concerned, it can go either way. But if it does break these highs here, then certainly it looks like 1680 is back on the cards, and we could then be breaking up for new highs. We've done the pullback. We don't have to carry on pulling back. We'll have to see. Euro, let's have a look at a couple of more markets, then we'll finish. Euro, dollar, and cable, I just don't have much interest in right now on the daily charts. Great moves. I'm looking for a pullback before looking for long entries again. I don't know. I think the euro, the bands have got a little bit tight. I don't think the risk reward is going to be that great anymore. They've been playing around the top end of these bands for the last 3 days. So I'd probably rather see the euro back off down to 132 zone now, and then look at it down there. So if it does back off, that is. So don't have too much of a say about that one, or even on the pound at the moment, the pound dollar. Again, candles are getting small, so it could just break up higher again. But again, the bands are getting small, so I'm not interested in. I've lost interest in the bands at this stage as well because they're getting too small. So which means that the risk reward is diminishing on that one. So again, I'd rather see a bit more of a pullback. But overall, yeah, nice and bullish for both of those currencies. Just waiting to see how they're going to. I want to find the best levels for entries. So where's the most interest right now for me of the currencies that I trade? I'm still interested in Aussie dollar. Had two lovely swings off that last week. One for 150 on the second half, 120, 100 on the first, 150 on the second half. And another trade earlier in the week for 110 points as well. So had some really nice swings on it. Again, I'm just waiting to see. I'd like to see 8 and 21 cross to the upside. That would be nice to see. So I think it's probably going to take several days to sort that out. But overall, I'm still looking for a bit more upside on that. It could pull back, but I'm looking for these lows to hold now. These lows from early June, but that's quite a way off. What's it, 200 odd points, 250 pips away. But I'm looking for those to hold for the time being. But I do see the potential for more upside. It doesn't mean to say it can't pull back first, but overall I'm keeping my eye on that on the hourly and 4 hourly charts for when momentum's positive and escalating, and that's when I want to be trading that. At the moment I'm not interested in it just now, but I'm keeping my eye on it on a day-to-day basis. And lastly, let's have a look at the dollar yen. The dollar yen is just down at the lower end of its daily bands at the moment. I'm looking, and I don't know if I'm going to be right on this one yet, but I'm looking to see if this one's going to have a bit of an upwards move for several days. It's had a lovely plunge move down. Ultimately, I'm still bearish on it. I want to see it come lower, but at the same time, it's had a good run, and I just want to see if it's going to actually have a bit of a rally, maybe into its 4 hour 50 moving average. So I'm just waiting to see if that's going to actually happen. So I do see the potential at least for that to happen. So we'll see. But longer term, I'd still like the dollar yen to come lower. So short term, I'd like to see the dollar yen move higher over the next few days. Right, that's me done. Have a fabulous few days. Hopefully Kim will be back in touch on Wednesday. I'll be back on Friday.